This year, I went into Songdung, which is the world's largest cave. It's this massive opening, 6 miles of underground cave.
Hello?
Deep beneath the Earth, across remote corners of our planet, lie structures so old and advanced that they completely change what we thought we knew about ancient civilizations. These ruins have left archaeologists scratching their heads, rewriting history books, and asking one simple question: how did ancient people build something this incredible without modern technology? Our journey begins in Turkey, where a German archaeologist made a discovery that shocked the world. In 1994, Klaus Schmidt was looking at what seemed like an ordinary hill near the city of Sanliurfa. Local people had called it Göbekli Tepe, meaning belly hill, and for decades, experts thought it was just another natural formation. But when Schmidt started digging, he found something that shouldn't have existed. Massive stone pillars, some weighing up to 50 tons, arranged in perfect circles. These weren't just big rocks. They were carved with incredible detail, showing lions, foxes, scorpions, and other wild animals. The craftsmanship was so advanced that it looked like the work of a civilization with metal tools and sophisticated technology. Here's the problem. Carbon dating revealed these structures were built around 11,000 years ago. That's 6,000 years older than Stonehenge and 7,000 years before the pyramids of Egypt. At that time, humans were supposed to be simple hunter-gatherers living in small groups, surviving on whatever they could catch or find. But Göbekli Tepe tells a completely different story. Building these massive stone circles would have required hundreds of workers, all needing to be fed and organized. The pillars stand up to 18 feet tall, and moving them from the quarry would have been nearly impossible for people who supposedly only had stone tools. Yet somehow, ancient builders not only moved these enormous stones, but carved them with precision that rivals modern craftsmanship. What makes this even more mysterious is that every few decades, the builders would bury their perfectly good stone circles and build new ones right on top. Nobody knows why. It's like they were following some ancient ritual that we can't even begin to understand. From Turkey, our journey takes us across the world to the Pacific Ocean, where another impossible structure rises from the sea. On a tiny coral reef near the island of Pohnpei lies Nan Madol, often called the Venice of the Pacific. But this isn't just any ancient city. It's the only city ever built on top of a coral reef. Nan Madol consists of nearly 100 artificial islands connected by a network of canals. These islands support massive stone structures built from basalt columns that look like giant stone logs stacked on top of each other. Some of these individual stones weigh up to 60 tons, yet they fit together so perfectly that the structures have survived centuries of ocean storms. The mystery begins with a simple question: how did ancient people move these massive stones? The basalt came from a quarry on the opposite side of Pohnpei Island, which means these enormous blocks had to be transported across 10 miles of mountainous terrain, then somehow placed precisely on artificial islands in a lagoon. Local legends say the stones were magically flown through the air by twin sorcerers. While that sounds like fantasy, archaeologists still can't explain how the Sotalur people, who built the city around 1200 AD, managed to accomplish this engineering feat. They had no modern machinery, no metal tools strong enough to shape the hard basalt, and no way to lift multi-ton stones high into the air. What's even more puzzling is that Nan Madol was suddenly abandoned around 1628 AD. The ruling dynasty simply vanished, leaving behind their incredible stone city to slowly sink back into the ocean. Today, rising sea levels threaten to swallow this ancient wonder completely, taking its secrets with it forever. High in the Andes Mountains of Bolivia, at an oxygen-thin altitude of 12,800 feet, sits one of archaeology's most baffling mysteries. Pumapunku, which means Gate of the Puma, contains some of the most precisely cut stones ever found anywhere on Earth. These aren't just well-shaped rocks, they're architectural marvels. The famous H-shaped blocks fit together like pieces of an enormous puzzle, with joints so tight that you can't slide a razor blade between them. The angles are perfect 90-degree cuts, and the surfaces are polished to a mirror-like finish. Even with modern laser cutting tools, creating this level of precision would be extremely difficult. But here's what makes Pumapunku truly impossible. It was built around 600 AD by the Tiwanaku civilization, a people who archaeologists say only had stone tools and bronze implements. Yet some of the blocks show drill holes that look like they were made with high-speed diamond-tipped drills. The cuts are so clean and precise that modern engineers admit they would struggle to replicate them today. The largest stone block weighs 131 tons. Moving something that heavy at such high altitude, where trees don't even grow, should have been impossible. There were no wooden rollers available, no animals strong enough to help, and no known lifting technology. Yet somehow, these massive blocks were not only moved from quarries up to 90 kilometers away, but also lifted and placed with millimeter precision. What happened to the people who built Pumapunku is another mystery. The site was suddenly abandoned around 1450 AD, and when Spanish conquistadors arrived, they found the ruins scattered as if some enormous force had torn apart the carefully constructed buildings. Local people told the Spanish that even the mighty Inca Empire, which came later, believed Pumapunku was built by the gods themselves. Just 23 miles from Göbekli Tepe, archaeologists have been uncovering another site that might be even more significant. Karahan Tepe, discovered in 1997 but only recently excavated, is revealing secrets that are forcing experts to completely rethink human history. While Göbekli Tepe amazed the world, Karahan Tepe might be even older, dating back 11,400 years. But this site is different in crucial ways. Unlike Göbekli Tepe, which shows no evidence of permanent settlement, Karahan Tepe contains clear signs that people lived there year-round. There are dwelling areas, storage facilities, and what appear to be workshops. This discovery is revolutionary because it proves that hunter-gatherers were building permanent settlements before agriculture was even invented. For decades, scientists believed that farming came first, and only then did humans settle down to build complex societies. Karahan Tepe proves that timeline is completely wrong. The stone carvings at Karahan Tepe are also unique. While Göbekli Tepe focuses mainly on animal depictions, Karahan Tepe shows more human figures. Recent excavations have uncovered a 7-foot-tall statue of a man, making it the oldest realistic human sculpture ever found. The detail is incredible. You can see individual ribs, facial features, and even what appears to be a carefully styled haircut. What makes this even more mysterious is that both sites are part of a larger network. Archaeologists have identified at least 12 similar locations across southeastern Turkey, all built during the same period. This suggests that these weren't isolated projects, but part of some greater plan or belief system that connected ancient people across vast distances. These sites are forcing archaeologists to admit that our ancestors were far more sophisticated than we ever imagined. They had complex social organization, advanced engineering skills, and shared cultural practices that spread across huge areas, all before they supposedly learned how to farm. As we look at these incredible ruins scattered across the globe, a disturbing pattern emerges. From Turkey to the Pacific to Bolivia, ancient civilizations were accomplishing feats that seem impossible given their supposed level of technology. These aren't just impressive buildings, they represent a fundamental gap in our understanding of human capability. At Göbekli Tepe, hunter-gatherers were moving 50-ton stones and carving them with artistic skill that rivals modern sculptors. At Nan Madol, island dwellers were constructing artificial islands and manipulating massive basalt blocks in ways we still can't explain. At Pumapunku, high-altitude builders were creating precision stonework that challenges even today's technology. The most unsettling part isn't just that these sites exist, it's that they all seem to represent the end of something rather than the beginning. Each of these civilizations reached incredible heights of achievement, then mysteriously declined or disappeared entirely. It's as if ancient peoples possessed knowledge or capabilities that were somehow lost to time. Modern archaeology is being forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. Maybe our ancestors weren't primitive people slowly working their way up from stone tools and cave paintings. Maybe they had access to techniques, knowledge, or technologies that we don't understand or haven't rediscovered. These ruins stand as silent witnesses to human potential that seems to defy everything we thought we knew about ancient history. They remind us that the past might be far stranger and more sophisticated than our textbooks suggest. The ruins we've explored today challenge the very foundation of how we understand human history, from 11,000-year-old precision engineering to impossible stone cities floating on coral reefs. These sites prove that our ancestors accomplished the seemingly impossible. The question isn't just how they built these incredible structures, it's what else might be waiting beneath the earth, ready to rewrite everything we think we know about the ancient world.